Alright, my name is Brian Cadell, and I've been playing video games for a pretty long time, I guess. Ever since I was like a kid, it's something I played, something I did, and it's kind of stuck with me. It's not like a huge part of my life, but I play video games. Um, so yeah, these are my top five video games. I'd have to say my favorite video game is probably Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, just because it was a really big game. Like even today, it's like the biggest like Zelda world that's been made in any of the games. And a lot of them, there's been a lot of Zelda games, and they're pretty well known for having like a lot to see and do. So that's a pretty big deal. On top of that, it was cell shaded, and I'm not a huge fan of cell shaded like it necessarily. Like it's not like I hate it, but I don't like to necessarily like it. But the way they did it was really really good, and it looked amazing. And even today, like there's no cell shaded game that looks that good. And this was made in like 2002, and because it was cel shaded, it wasn't like graphically impressive technically. It looked amazing, but it wasn't technically like graphically like demanding. So they can make a gigantic world, and like when you went to different islands, like you could see them like in the distance, and there was just a big sense of exploration and adventure because there was a lot of unique islands that you didn't necessarily have to go to. And so yeah, and it's a good game overall. The story's really good. But yeah, that's probably the main reason I like that game. Plus, it's kind of nostalgic. Um, my second favorite game is Knights of the Republic. It's a fairly well known game, like a story RPG that kind of like was one of those games that pioneered like the moral decision system. And the reason I like it so much is because the combat's pretty fun. It's fun to get overpowered in it. There's a lot of decisions to make that you kind of like can make that like can change how things happen. The story's really really good, and then the whole moral system's fun. But on top of that, like there's little things like if you're like a bad guy, the stuff you say is like so funny sometimes. Like you have so many sarcastic lines, and you say the most ridiculous things sometimes, and it's just kind of fun to like go throughout the game like that. So the dialogue's really good, the story's really good, and it's just a great game overall. It's one of BioWare's kind of like good, really good story games. My third favorite game is Mass Effect, basically for all the same reasons. I can reiterate them, but I'm not. Good moral decision game, great story, like a really expansive like kind of like world to explore, and that's about it. It's a great Bioware game. My fourth favorite game is Dark Souls, probably because like a lot of games that are out right now are really easy and they're really stupid, and it breaks them. Like Assassin's Creed 3 is like a lot of stuff to explore and a lot to do, and it's well made, but like you're like a murder tank. You can like kill 20 guys like without even trying, and this breaks the. In my opinion, it breaks the game. Like I think that game's horrible. I hate it. And I bought it too, but Dark Souls is really hard, and it's fair. Like if you get killed, it's your fault, and it's really rewarding when die a bunch of times and you finally kill a boss. And the whole game's just really fun. It's challenging, but it's really rewarding. And but my fifth favorite game is I kind of out of nowhere Pokemon Ruby version. I've always kind of liked Pokemon in the sense that like the games they're not super well designed, but they're fun and simple, and it gets like really like competitive at a certain level. But Ruby was something like it came out when I was in fifth grade, and I played it a lot. Like it's the first and last Pokemon game I fully completed. Like I caught them all, and I played it a lot when I was a kid. And like it's like the only video game I played when I was in fifth grade. And a lot of other people in my school played it too, like the other like third generation games. So like I had like a triad of like kids that like we played Pokemon together, and I was like the best player by far. So like I could like train like a Pokemon that had like super high level, and then be like, hey, if you catch this like really rare Pokemon for me, like that just has everything to do with just like luck in finding it. It's like 2% chance to find this Pokemon. If you find this Pokemon and trade with me, I'll give you like my level 82 Rhydon, and you can like kill all your friends. And like so I had like this like network of like kids like working for me, helping me like catch all the rare Pokemon. And I was clearly the best, and like some of like the like next best like people would like always challenge me and try to beat me, but they never would. So it was just really fun, and like the competitive like human aspect of it was there too. Like playing with your friends. So yeah, those are my top favorite video games, and yeah.